Thanks for joining me on Saturday the 27th of September 2025, where it finished in London. Tottenham Hotspur 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. Well, it was a bit of a sickener in the end, but if anybody had offered us a 1-1 draw before the game, we probably would have took it, because at least we're off the mark. The run of defeats this season end at 5, and we finally get our first point. And you could say, to coin a phrase, a cliche, it was a game of two halves. Tottenham pretty much dominated the first half, and we dominated the second half, and it was probably their only effort on target in the second half where they scored. But it looks as though the manager has taken some lessons from Tuesday night's 2-0 win at home to Everton with the formation and the lineup. The starting lineup today was he kept Sam Johnston in goal from midweek, dropping Jose Sarr, who was arguably at fault for all 3 goals last week against Leeds at Molineux. And the defence was pretty similar as well. It was Doherty, Santiago Bueno, Krejci and Hugo Bueno in midfield, João Gomez and Andre. So João Gomez got his place back, and the two Brazilian terriers in midfield, terriers in midfield were paired together. And there was Arias and Wang, Monetsi and Larson. And to be honest with you, in the first half, if I didn't see Larson's name on the line at the team sheet, I wouldn't have guessed he was playing, because I just didn't see him. And Tottenham could arguably out of sight at half time. And in the first half, our best player and busiest player was our goalkeeper, Sam Johnston. He tipped a close point blank range effort from Hamid Kudus onto the bar. It was just pure reflexes, that one, and he beat out another dangerous left foot shot from Kudus, parried it, and he did some good punches from crosses and corners, and a few good catches. So he's justified his starting place, and Jose Sarr, they might as well get used to that place on the bench for the time being, because it looks like Sam Johnson has kept his place. He was solid throughout. He distributed it well with his feet. His kicks up the pitch were good. He was calm. There was no into panic with him. He was composed throughout, and he distributed the ball well. Doherty, at the end of the first half, deep into injury time, we had a corner. It was flicked on. Doherty was unmarked at the back post, and he might arguably have put us ahead, but he hit the woodwork and just went over. Krejci, again, he was composed. Hugo Bueno, very good, as he has been throughout the season. Santiago Bueno, too. But it went in at half time, 0-0, somehow. Tottenham would be disappointed with that, but we'll be more relieved about that. But there were quite a few close scrapes where they just there was a few that flashed by in front of our area. There was one that it was Richarlison just missed it, and fine margins on another day he might have just reached it and gone in, but he didn't. It's not about ifs, it's about what is. And I thought during the first half, Tottenham's most dangerous player were the 19-year-old Bergvall, the Swedish player, and Kudus, because I think it was last season when we went to West Ham, Kudus scored 2 goals against us. I thought he was arguably, him and Bergvall, the most dangerous players. But we battled well. I say we could have gone in 1-0 at half time with that last touch of the first half, but we were relieved to go in 1-0, and Tottenham almost regretted it. Well, they did regret it, all them chances what they missed. Half time, Doherty, who had been booked for the 3rd time this season, him and Wang were taken off. Agbadou came on, and Jackson Chapchua. Those two had pretty good games as well, because against Leeds last week they had games to forget. Agbadou, his distribution was not too bad today. It was very good. There was one where he passed it and it went out, but I think Krejci was on his heels and might arguably have got that one. But he had a reassuring presence today, and he looked like he was back to his old self. It was 53 minutes, Santiago Bueno. It was a good move to led to the corner where Chachua crossed it and it went out for a corner. But we got the corner. There was a rebound, a ricochet of Paulina, one of the players who we'd previously been linked to. And Santiago Bueno, after his initial effort, just stretching to reach it, he didn't quite get it in. He got it in at the second effort. And not long after that, he put in a sliding last-ditch tackle to defy one of their players. And then João Gomez, who again had been booked, was substituted. A good move by the manager. Bellegarde came on. Bellegarde worked really hard and looked dangerous going forward. There was a brilliant run by him, 67 minutes, and stretched their defence, and they just managed to get a last gasp tackle in. We sliced them apart a couple of times, ended in a Hugo Bueno shot which went out for a corner. I says it was a very impressive performance by Wolves. Totti came on, Totti came on, and we tried to shore things up at the back. Tolu came on, he looked dangerous. Apparently his tea celebration is because he's Taluwache Emmanuel Arakadare, TEA. So when he scored the goal the other night, he made a tea celebration. But who was our man of the match? Was it the TV? They gave it to Arias, but it could have arguably been Santiago Bueno for his goals and his solid performance, or it could have gone to many of the players that were on the pitch. Monetzi kept running and running and running and running like Forrest Gump, but he kept running. He didn't go up all the way to 95 minutes. It was like cruel of cruelties. I bet all the neutrals you like to think were backing Wolves because they worked really so hard, so close to the end to get in the first win, which would have helped us. We would have still stayed bottom, but only on goal difference. But Tottenham snatched it from the jaws of defeat, and they were relieved to get a 1-1 point because Bournemouth won 1-0 their away, and we almost did. But hopefully, 2 matches unbeaten, it's not a great deal, but when you're down the bottom and things aren't going your way, 2 games unbeaten and a new formation, and hopefully the manager has learnt something from the midweek team, which was pretty similar to the starting 11 tonight, which was 4-4-2. But again, it's a tough game next week, at home to Brighton, the 5th. But over the last few years, they've been a bogey team in the league. But I remember last October we had a last-ditch draw there away. That was the one where they're 3-1, and Tommy Doyle intercepted in injury time and ran with it, long ball up to Mateus Cunha, and he got a last-ditch equalise. And also we played them in the FA Cup in January, where the wife came with me, and we beat them 1-0. And then it was about April where we went in the league and we lost 2-0 at Molineux, and Welbeck scored a penalty. But that's the next game. But tonight, it's mixed feelings. We felt deprived of the win with a last-ditch equaliser for Tottenham, but we're off the mark, hopefully on the run, and we're going to climb up the table, because it was a few years ago Crystal Palace lost the first 7 games. We haven't done that, and they finished 11th. So just hope that's an encouragement. That's the spur that we need to turn our season round. But thanks for joining me where it finished. Spurs 1, Wolves 1, up the Wolves, and give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. Thank you.